Take responsibility for your life. Achieve fulfillment with recovery. Check out responsiblerecovery.net.
It leads me to my next thing is, I live my recovery not by sitting in the rooms of, the 12-step programs and waiting for life to happen to me. I have to actively go out and create a life that's worth living. And, my favorite saying is from Abraham Lincoln. It goes, good things come to those who wait, but only what's left by those that go out and get it. And so I literally go out and get life and, show up and I help other people. I definitely do not deserve the life that I've been given, but I deserve the person I am now. I deserve what I get. And but it's really hard to look back on the things that I've done and go, this is who he used to be and this is what he gets now. Why? I can't explain why. It's just, it's a tough thing to think about drugs and seeing friends out there. And it's why don't they fucking get it? And, you want to go out and rescue them and bring them in. And it's like that, you look at a friend. I just helped 12-step a friend. His mom had called me, and some other friends that don't use had called me and asked me to talk to him. And, I gave him my best pitch and looked him in the eyes. When he would look me in the eyes, he was so loaded and so in denial. And I turned around, all right, let me help you. And he was out of there. And he obviously, in my eyes, needed it, and he's got to be the one that comes into it. People are dying out there, and it's, why not me? I wanted to die.
What advice would you give for somebody in the same sort of situation as your friend who's maybe considering recovery, but doesn't know, it sounds to me you had a lot of motivation to help push you into recovery. Do you think everybody needs that in order to find it, or what advice would you give to somebody that's kind of struggling with the idea right now?
If you want recovery and you don't know if it's going to work, like they say, you won't lose. Nothing will get worse by trying it, but it's a hard thing to deal with. When I took that first step of the 12 steps and fully admitted I was an addict, it's fucking a weight was lifted off my shoulders because I fought it for so long. I always wanted to believe I was a smart person, and I felt like if I surrendered and admitted I was an addict, then that meant I was dumb. And someone gave me a good saying too. It said, surrender, isn't weakness. It is being smart enough to know when you've been defeated so that you can live to fight another day. And it's, it's hard to know. Like my friend, his mom was supporting him, and and so codependent. And for me, because what happened was as soon as my wife, wasn't the enabler anymore, it sent me down to that pit of despair much faster. I feel I don't want to have to I don't want everyone to have to hit that bottom. I wish I knew what it was that could convince somebody before they get there. But, I do hear about people that don't have to hit a very big bottom, but maybe their lives were a lot better in the beginning, so they didn't have to go as far down. It's hard to tell. All I can say is, if go to a meeting, talk to someone. I didn't know anything about life, so I literally had to find someone that did. I know I wanted change. I didn't know how to get it, so I just did what I was told. They say, do what your sponsor does, do what they tell you, and I just did that. And I wouldn't, if it's a hard thing, because if you're thinking about recovery, then you maybe come to terms that you are an addict, and that you need help. And I just go off what I said the first time is you're not going to get any worse, in my opinion, by at least trying.
And finally, what was your biggest takeaway from all your experiences until now?
With recovery,
with both, with how you're, kind of when you're using lead to your recovery, or, like what was the biggest lesson, I guess, for yourself?
I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. So right now, I'm the person I'm becoming and continuously growing into. I feel like everything was a lesson and it has created who I am. I love who I am now. And now I was like, would I change it? Maybe like things wouldn't be the same. Like I have the most amazing kids and maybe they wouldn't be the same person if, I wasn't using. So, biggest lesson, honesty. It's a big thing. I love when people can, friends can call me and say, hey, help me move, or, if I say I'm going to be there, they know I'm going to be there. Biggest lesson I've gotten from recovery is how to be honest and be accountable, and not push everything off on everyone else. Not blame the world for my shit. I literally, love my life, and that's like a hard thing to like come to terms with sometimes. Consider I look where I'm at and I see people in recovery and I go, fuck, I was there, and it's hard to see that I was there sometimes, becoming the person I've become. And I realize it doesn't, happen to everyone that quick, and life's, sometimes you got more court problems to deal with, and you've done damage to your loved ones too hard, and it's really unfortunate that the people we hurt the most are the ones we love the most, and lessons in recovery. And I can say my favorite thing about recovery is growth. I am constantly growing. I'm not the same person I was a month ago. I'm not the same person I was just a couple of days ago. I've learned new things about myself, and like I said, like growing and becoming a man. Like for so long, I'm not growing. My wife had grown so much over those 10 years, and I like pawned it off on her. It's like, oh, that's stupid, and like it's like a really messed up feeling to like think you're gonna be one of those old dudes. It's like, oh, back in my day, like that's stupid, and like I literally, deepest darkest secret. Not really. I was listening to Taylor Swift the other day. My daughter had left the album in my car, and it came on, and I left it on. And I was rocking out to it. Open-mindedness, it's that's a crazy little thing that I had never experienced before.
Well, that's a remarkable story, Sterling, and I want to thank you for sharing it with us tonight. And I want to thank all our listeners for joining us today on the Stories of Addiction podcast. To all of you, we wish you to stay sober and be happy. Take care.